Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. What statement are you making with silver? Let's explore. The longer that I am in the community, the more diverse it seems to be. There's a variety of different opinions about silver and various different ways to procure it. And more so than ever before, there's a greater variety of ways to be able to stack the physical form of the metal. And you can see here in this display just a small sampling of the different variety that is available to accumulate. And I think in so much as the kind of silver you buy can partially answer the question as to what statement are you making by accumulating silver. And that is the overall question. It is an open-ended question, and I would love to see some of your answers in the comment section below. Is there a right answer? What statement are you making? What are you trying to tell others and yourself when you stack silver or accumulate it in any measure, in any form? Admittedly, these days when I accumulate silver, it is more or less for collector reasons. Now, some of those collector purposes may include stackable silver, such as, well, this particularly nice 5-ounce silver bar here from Silvertown. I just really like the looks of this bar. Yes, it is pure bullion. It is a stacker bar, but it just is especially nice. And so when I picked this bar up, I bought it for its attractiveness, its beauty. It kind of just stands out among some of the other 5-ounce bars that are out there. But in so much that as I am a collector, it turns out that in doing so, I have found a way to stack. That's right. When you take these bars, you put them together, they stack right up, and it's made a stacker out of me. So part of my motivation and what statement I'm making with silver is as a collector. I enjoy it for the beauty of the metal. And sometimes it's just that primal. And I would argue and dare say that the hardcore stackers out there that just want to accumulate weight, well, if they look at their silver and take the time to examine it, even if it's just the regular Silver Eagle and they've got a monster box or 3 of these, well, they take a Silver Eagle out and take a look at it, well, they can admire the beauty of it. And they may be so inclined to find other government-issued bullion products out there as a variety to accumulate and to admire. But there are motivating factors, and that is part of the answer. It's what motivates you. That statement is in part due to the motivation that is behind your reasons for accumulating silver in the first place. Now, as a collector, for me, it goes hand in hand with some of the bigger issues that are at stake. Many of us in this community are really concerned about the economy. And I'm not just talking about in the countries from which we live, but across the whole world. There is economic trouble looming of some measure. And I believe this is why many in the space, in the International Monetary Fund, as well as these economic forums, the global economic forums that have been taking place over the past few years, have concentrated and focused on a sort of a restructuring of the economy, what is known as the Great Reset that is coming. And in a Great Reset, there will typically be a revaluation, which is what typically happens in these sort of situations. And as we move more towards a digital realm of payment systems and the like, many of us utilize those systems to this day in one form or another. Physical assets that you can hold in your hand, these have a certain intrinsic value to them that has surpassed technology, empires, generations, epochs, and silver has been at the forefront of monetary systems for ages. And it is certainly has transcended all of the political, social, economic structures of the ages, and it will continue to do so, I feel, for times to come. Now, there's other statements that could be made for accumulating silver. Is it to send a message to the banks, to the COMEX, to the holders of silver, to those that some feel are suppressing the price, or, as I believe, manipulating the price from within organizations, what I refer to as micro manipulation? J.P. Morgan was caught doing such, and they have paid a fine, or will be ordered to pay a fine of almost $1 billion for doing such a thing. But nonetheless, they can't manipulate the physical, no matter how you feel about manipulation, whether it's on a grand scale or from within any particular organization. Sending that message by accumulating the physical, taking it off the market, even if the price goes down, well, you've got an ounce is an ounce, or in this case, 2 ounces. And that will never change. It can never be manipulated. And even though the price may be low in time, sooner or later, I believe that silver will do what it has done for millennia, and that is to maintain as a store of value. And people have different views on as to whether silver is money or not, based off the definition of money. It's certainly not utilized in everyday transactions these days, so I refer to it as hibernating money. But I do believe it is money nonetheless. And so therefore, I believe that accumulating silver as a way to hedge and protect myself from economic instability and uncertainty, well, having silver provides that level of protection, and it provides me a form of money that essentially cannot be devalued over the course of history, of course, over the course of a long period of time. Now, does the price fluctuate? Yes. And the price fluctuates because it is a commodity as well as a hedge. And those factors certainly will come into play in periods, in short and medium periods of time where the price will go down. And so whenever I buy it, well, after a few months, the price could go down, and the premiums I'm paid for it, I will never recover, and I may lose a bit if I go to sell it at that particular time. So buying it and selling it can be tricky at times. It's about understanding that which you buy, and that is the trademark and the frustrating part of accumulating silver, because there are times when it does lose a bit of its price point, and in order to really realize the value, the value stability of the metal, it must be a long-term hold, I feel. And so that is sort of my statement. My statement that I'm making with silver is to buy it and hold it for a long period of time, as a hedge, as a protection, in case I get into personal economic trouble, or if there is economic hardship coming my way in my particular nation where I live, or around the whole world. I believe that there are several different statements that could be made, several different messages that you want to send to the big banks, to financial institutions, the political infrastructure, and also privacy concerns as well. If you buy silver with cash, it's pretty much untraceable. And obviously, anytime anything is digitized, well, it can be traced. And one can make the argument that me making this video showing these particular bars with certain serial numbers, well, they can essentially be traced back to me, if you know who I am. But regardless, there's ways to be able to work your way around that, and I believe it provides a level of privacy and security that is paramount and going to become more and more important as time goes on, as we move towards a digital payment system, such as we see with cryptocurrencies out there that are tied to a digital ledger system known as the blockchain. but it can represent itself in different forms and different technologies down the road. In fact, the United States is considering a digital dollar. China has already moved in that direction, and a lot of that is to try to declare independence of sorts from the U.S. dollar. And, our currencies and money that are utilized for everyday transactions around the world these days, they are going to become increasingly more volatile and suspect and can change very rapidly, I feel. And but one thing about silver, especially silver, as far as what I kind of refer to as a transaction metal, because you really didn't see a whole lot of everyday today transactions with gold as you did with silver back in the day. Certainly, multitudes of more transactions have been made with silver, physical silver, in our money that have been utilized for thousands of years up until the mid to late 60s. Around the world, silver was utilized in everyday transactions. And I think that when we go back to that and have some of that silver, whether it be in some of those old coins that circulated during those time periods or government-backed bullion products that are available, I believe it sends a strong message and makes a huge statement. And that statement is about wealth preservation and recognizing the ultimate form of money and the ultimate form of transaction money that, though may not be transacted today, many of these products that you see, especially in these round discs that have denominations on them, well, this is considered money, and it is considered and it is monetized as such and backed by the full faith and credit of the governments that issued them. And that is, I think, paramount, and it is a recognition that even though some of these were minted either as bullion or collectible pieces, they are, in fact, recognized and monetized in these particular silver discs. And to me, that is a strong message. That is a strong statement that even governments recognize silver as money. And so therefore, I believe it is incumbent upon us to examine the question and to wonder, well, what statement are you making? Are you here to squeeze the crap out of the silver market by buying a whole bunch of it at a time, potentially at a very, very high premium, only to be potentially disappointed if down the road it doesn't do what you thought it would? If it doesn't exactly come out like you thought it would by making that statement. In the long run, when you buy silver, you are preserving your wealth. And I believe that is the strongest statement that one can send with buying silver. We can send whatever statement we like by buying a whole bunch on a particular day or for a sustained period of time. And that's fine as long, in my view, as long as you understand that the silver that you buy during this time, with this movement that is going on, especially with the silver squeeze movement where we are at right now, after that passes, well, the silver will still be there, and who knows where the price will be. I really don't know where the price. I'm bullish on silver for the year that I'm posting this video, but we have to take a look beyond this year, beyond next year, beyond this presidential administration, but beyond this political atmosphere. Where will we be down the road? Is there hope? Is there no hope? Who knows? You have to be prepared for both scenarios, I feel, and this is why I look at silver on with a very simple scope, and that scope is to have it to preserve my wealth over the course of a long period of time, and with a little sideline there to enjoy that which I buy, because I find certain designs attractive and appealing, and the look and the strike and the finish on these particular silver products that I may pay an extra premium for. I just enjoy because I'm a collector. And all else fails, if there's an economic collapse, Well, this thing will be melted down and sold for scrap silver melt price. I'm fine with that, If you got to survive, we're not going to be looking around at this shiny stuff a whole lot. We're going to take it and melt it down and try to survive or what have you. Or maybe somebody will recognize it and buy it and who knows? It could go a myriad of different ways. I've got a variety of different silver products shown here. This is an example of what my quote stack looks like, and it's comprised of a myriad of different types of better bullion pieces to collector pieces. But you know what? The message I'm sending to it is that silver is going to preserve my wealth in times of economic hardship, because we know one thing: the dollar as money is decreasing in value every year by design. And we know that it's going to continue to do that, a steady stream of downward movement in terms of valuation. Silver is a constant. It maintains its value, again, over the long period of time. There are fluctuations of price within any given week, within any given month, even within several years. The price can move in a direction that most of us don't want it to go. But it could also do the other as well, and that is to go up in price, maintaining its value derived from inflation. And that is the best hope we can have for silver, I believe. So to me, that's a pretty strong statement, to be able to have money that over the course of time cannot be manipulated in terms of what I believe its ultimate purpose is, and that is to preserve wealth. Look at a chart over the past 120 years. It will show you the same thing. You take a line and you adjust it for inflation, and by and large, yes, one can we can adjust, and we can take out and make it say kind of what we want. But for the most part, by and large, if you average it out, silver does preserve its wealth, and or can preserve your wealth over the long period of time. If you utilize a method of buying silver, what I refer to as smart dollar cost averaging, and buy at a constant rate, and I think it'll work out. And that's what it's about, wealth preservation. And so that's the statement that I'm making with silver. But what is the statement you are making? There's no wrong answer. I would love to see your thoughts in the comment section below. With that, I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.